You're probably already familiar with D-Day, June 6, 1944. Over 160,000 Allied troops storming 5 beaches in Normandy, changing the course of World War II forever. But what was it like on the other side of those beach defences? Here's what life was really like for a German soldier waiting behind the Atlantic Wall. So yeah, if you use these to fall asleep, hit like or subscribe so you don't miss any. And I'm curious, where are you listening from? Drop your city and the time in the comments. Love seeing everyone from Texas to Toronto to Tokyo all here at the same time. Well, not the same time. You know what I mean? All right, tonight it's June 1944, Normandy. But wait, are you comfortable? No, really? Check. Pillows, blankets, the whole deal. Where we're going, you'll want to be settled. Your eyes open to grey light filtering through gaps in the concrete. The bunker smells like wet stone and gun oil, salt from the ocean, unwashed bodies, yours included. You're 17 years old. Your name doesn't matter much anymore. None of the names matter much. You're just another body in field grey, another set of hands to hold a rifle, another pair of eyes to watch the English Channel, and wait for what everyone knows is coming. You push yourself up from the thin bedroll. Your back aches. Everything aches. The concrete floor of this bunker has been your bed for 3 months now. Before that, it was mud in Russia. Before that, a hospital bed in Berlin where they patched up the frostbite that took 3 of your toes. You're one of the lucky ones, they said. You get to recover on the Atlantic coast. Guard duty. Easy work. Yeah. Easy. Your stomach clenches. Empty. Has been for 3 days now. The supply trucks haven't come. Again. You heard the Osttruppen, those poor bastards from Georgia and Ukraine who got pressed into service. They haven't eaten in 5 days. At least you're German. At least you get some preference. Not that it feels like much of a privilege when your last meal was a piece of stale bread and some coffee that tasted like dirt. Outside the bunker, the morning is quiet. Too quiet. That's the thing about June 5th, 1944. The waiting has become almost unbearable. The tension is so thick you could cut it with your bayonet. You walk to the embrasure, the narrow opening in the concrete that faces the sea. Your MG-42 machine gun sits there, cleaned and oiled. You've cleaned it so many times you could do it blindfolded. There's not much else to do. Guard duty, training, cards, sleep, repeat. The beach stretches out below your position. Sand, obstacles, stakes and tripods and barbed wire, mines everywhere. Rommel's asparagus, they call those angled poles sticking out of the ground like broken teeth. The field marshal spent months installing all of this, making the beaches into a nightmare of metal and explosives. Will it be enough? You don't know. Nobody knows. But the joke makes its rounds anyway. You heard Muller tell it yesterday. If you see a black plane, it's British. If you see a white plane, it's American. If you see nothing at all, it's the Luftwaffe. You didn't laugh. Neither did anyone else. The joke stopped being funny somewhere around the 3rd telling. Now it's just true. The German Air Force is gone, fighting in the east, fighting everywhere except here, which means if the invasion comes, you're on your own. Your throat is dry. You left your canteen back in the sleeping area. Water is rationed. Everything is rationed. The Atlantic Wall, they call this place. This massive line of defences stretching from Norway to Spain. Thousands of bunkers, millions of mines. The pride of the Third Reich. From inside, it feels like a prison. You lean against the concrete. It's cold. Always cold. Even in June, these bunkers never warm up. 2 meters of reinforced concrete on all sides, built to withstand naval bombardment, built to last 1,000 years, built to be your tomb, maybe. Stop thinking like that. But you can't help it. The waiting does something to your mind, twists it. You've been here since March, watching the sea, waiting. Knowing it's coming, but not knowing when. Last week, Rommel was here, the desert fox himself, inspecting the defences. He walked along the beach, pointing at things, shouting orders, more obstacles, more mines, more. Then he left, went home to Germany for his wife's birthday. Can you imagine your wife's birthday while everyone here is wound so tight they might snap? And von Rundstedt, the overall commander, he's somewhere inland, playing it safe, keeping the panzer divisions back from the coast because he thinks the real invasion will come at Calais, not here. So here you are, 17 years old, missing 3 toes from your right foot, haven't eaten in 3 days, your commanders are gone, the Luftwaffe is gone, and somewhere across that channel you know they're coming. You just don't know when. A noise behind you, footsteps, you turn. It's Klaus, older guy, maybe 30, ancient by your standards. He was a school teacher before the war. Now he's here, same as you, same grey uniform, same haunted look in his eyes. Anything? He asks. You shake your head. Just water. He moves to the other embrasure, peers out. The sea is choppy today, grey waves under grey sky. It rained earlier. The weather has been terrible, too rough for an invasion, everyone says. They won't come in this, Klaus says, like he's trying to convince himself. Too dangerous. The seas are too rough. You don't answer. You've heard this before. Every day for the past month. They won't come yet. The weather is bad. The tides are wrong. Too early in June. And yet, the tension doesn't ease. If anything, it gets worse. Because somewhere deep down, you all know. You can feel it. Something is about to break. Klaus pulls out a cigarette. His hands shake as he lights it. You watch the flame flicker. It takes him 3 tries. My hands, he says, not looking at you. They've been doing this for weeks now. He's not the only one. You've seen it in everyone. The way Müller flinches at loud noises. The way young Becker, who's only 16, cries in his sleep. The way Sergeant Hoffman drinks himself stupid every night on whatever alcohol he can scrounge. This waiting is killing you all. Just in a different way than bullets would. The Osttruppen are in the bunker next to yours. You can hear them sometimes, speaking in languages you don't understand. Russian, Georgian, Polish, men who were prisoners of war given a choice. Fight for Germany or stay in the camps. Some choice. They're not soldiers. Not really. Half of them don't even have proper weapons. Old French rifles, captured Czech guns, whatever the Wehrmacht could scrape together, and they sure as hell don't want to be here. You see it in their faces. They're just waiting for a chance to surrender. You don't blame them. Hell, part of you understands. This whole thing, this Atlantic Wall, it feels like a bluff. Rommel called it that himself, you heard. A bluff for the German people more than the enemy. And the enemy knows it. They've sent spies, reconnaissance planes that dodge in and out too fast to shoot down. They know where you are. They know how many guns you have. They probably know how many rounds of ammunition you have left, which isn't many. You walk back through the bunker, past the ammunition stores which are looking sparse, past the sleeping quarters where the straw mattresses smell like mildew, past the tiny kitchen area where you heat up whatever rations you can get. When you can get them, which hasn't been lately, your stomach growls. You ignore it. You've gotten good at ignoring it. In the main room, 3 other soldiers are playing cards. Müller, Becker and Hans. They look up as you enter. Anything? Müller asks. Same question Klaus asked. Same question everyone asks. No. They go back to their cards, but nobody's really paying attention to the game. Everyone's just going through the motions, pretending everything is normal, pretending you're not all waiting for the sky to fall. You sit down on a crate, your feet hurt, the missing toes throb in the phantom way they do when it's damp, which is always. This close to the ocean, everything is damp. I'm hungry, young Becker says quietly. Nobody answers. What is there to say? Müller throws down a card. Supply truck should have been here yesterday. Should have been here 3 days ago, Hans corrects. Probably got bombed, you say, or the roads are out, or they're saving supplies for the real soldiers inland. Nobody argues. You're probably right. The static divisions here on the coast, you're not exactly priority. The good equipment goes to the panzers. The good soldiers go to the east. What's left gets sent here. Old men. Boys, walking wounded, foreign conscripts who don't even speak German. This is what's supposed to stop the greatest invasion in history. You almost laugh, but it's not funny. It's just sad. Hours pass. You take your turn on watch. 2 hours staring at the sea. 2 hours of nothing. Then Klaus relieves you and you go back to the bunker. Evening comes. The grey sky turns darker grey. Sergeant Hoffman appears. He's been wherever sergeants go, probably drinking. His eyes are bloodshot. "Listen up," he says. His voice is rough. "I just got word from command. Rommel is still in Germany. Won't be back until tomorrow at earliest." Someone groans. "Von Rundstedt says the weather is too bad for invasion. Says we can relax. No alert tonight." This should be good news. It's not. It just feels wrong. Everything feels wrong. Hoffman leaves. You and the others look at each other. "Relax," he says. Muller mutters. "Yeah, sure." You try to eat something. There's a can of something that might have been meat once. You split it between 6 of you. Each person gets maybe 2 bites. It tastes like metal and despair. Night falls. You lie on your bedroll. Above you, the concrete ceiling. Around you, the sound of other men breathing, trying to sleep, failing. You close your eyes. Think about home, about your mother's kitchen, the smell of bread baking, the way sunlight came through the windows on Sunday mornings, your little sister. She'd be 12 now. You wonder if she even remembers you. You were taken for the Wehrmacht when you were 16. Sent east almost immediately. Froze half to death in Russia. Lost your toes to frostbite. Got sent here to recover. Recovery. Right. More like waiting to die. Except slower. You're drifting off when you hear it. Distant. Very distant. The sound of aircraft. Your eyes snap open. You listen. Heart pounding. There it is again. Engines. Lots of them. You sit up. Around you, others are doing the same. In the darkness of the bunker, you can hear breathing quicken. "What is that?" Becca whispers. Nobody answers. The sound grows, louder, closer, not just one plane, not 2, dozens, hundreds. Your hands start to shake. This is it. This is really it. Klaus appears in the doorway, flashlight in hand. His face is pale. Everyone up, now, to your positions. You grab your rifle. Your hands are shaking too now, just like Klaus's when he lit that cigarette. You run to your MG42. Look out through the embrasure. The sky to the north is full of planes. Full of them. Black shapes against the clouds. Bombers, transport planes, more than you've ever seen in your life. "Oh God," someone says behind you. The first explosions light up the night, miles away but getting closer, and then you hear it, a sound that makes your blood freeze, distant screams as paratroopers jump into the darkness. The invasion has begun, and Rommel is still in Germany, and your stomach is empty. And your hands won't stop shaking. You grip the machine gun. Try to remember your training. Try to remember you're a soldier. Try to forget you're 17 years old and terrified. The bombers are coming closer now. You can hear them, feel them. The whole bunker shakes with each explosion that walks toward your position. Closer, closer. This is where your night really begins. Unlike you, warm in your bed, safe in the future, this is the moment where everything you thought you knew about war becomes real. The first bomb that actually matters hits about 200 meters north of your bunker. The whole structure shakes. Dust rains down from the concrete ceiling. Your ears ring. You're crouched behind your MG42, fingers white-knuckled on the grips. Outside, the world is turning into fire. The bombers keep coming, wave after wave. The sound is insane, like standing inside a drum while someone beats it with sledgehammers. Your chest vibrates with each explosion. Your teeth rattle. Klaus is shouting something. You can't hear him, can't hear anything except the bombs and the ringing in your ears. Another explosion, closer. The bunker rocks. Somewhere behind you, glass shatters. Must be the tiny window in the back room. Not that it matters. Not like you need windows when the world is ending. You try to see through the gun slit. Smoke, fire, darkness lit by orange flashes. The beach obstacles are silhouetted against the flames. Some of them are gone, just gone, blown apart. Months of work, thousands of stakes and mines and barbed wire, and the bombers are erasing it like chalk on a blackboard. Your hands shake on the gun. Stop shaking. They won't stop. 17 years old and you're discovering what terror actually feels like. It's not like the movies. It's not dramatic, it's just your body betraying you, hands shaking, bladder threatening to let go, heart hammering so hard you think it might break through your ribs. A hand grabs your shoulder. You spin around, almost scream. It's Sergeant Hoffman. His mouth is moving. You can't hear him. He points back, away from the gun. He's pulling you back from the embrasure. Smart. If a bomb hits close enough, the pressure wave could come right through that narrow opening. Turn your insides to jelly. You stumble back into the main room. Everyone's there. Müller, Hans, Becker. The kid is crying, not making sound, just tears running down his face while he stares at nothing. Klaus has his hands over his ears, eyes squeezed shut. The bunker shakes again, and again the ceiling is solid concrete, 2 meters thick, but it feels like it's going to cave in any second. How long does this last? You don't know. Time stops meaning anything when you're waiting to die. Could be 5 minutes, could be 5 hours. Between explosions you hear something else. Gunfire, machine guns in the distance, rifle fire. The other bunkers are shooting at something. Hoffman is at the radio now. Or trying to be. The thing is dead. No lights. Battery must have shaken loose. He's cursing, slamming his fist against it. Nothing. You're cut off. Another explosion. The lights flicker, go out. Darkness. Someone's breathing hard, panicked. Might be you, might be Becker, might be all of you. Hoffman's flashlight clicks on. The beam cuts through the dust. Positions, he shouts. You can barely hear him. Everyone to positions. They're landing. Who's landing? The bombers are still overhead. You can hear them, but then you understand. Through the embrasure, in the brief moments between explosions, you see them, shapes floating down from the sky, parachutes, dozens of them, hundreds. Paratroopers. Your stomach drops. This isn't just bombing, this is invasion. You're back at your gun, trying to see, trying to track targets, but the smoke is too thick. The darkness between explosions is total, and you have no idea where they're landing. North of you, tracer fire lights up the night. Green tracers going up, red coming down. Someone's fighting, someone's found targets. You squint into the darkness. Nothing. Just smoke and fire and your own reflection in the gun sights. Wait. There. Movement. Maybe 50 meters out. Shapes running low across the beach. Your finger finds the trigger. You're supposed to wait. Wait until they're close. Make every bullet count. But what if they have grenades? What if they're coming for your bunker? You fire. The MG42 roars to life. Fastest firing rate of any machine gun in the world. 1,200 rounds per minute. Hitler's buzzsaw, the Americans call it. The noise is deafening, even with the bombing. The gun bucks against your shoulder. Spent casings spray everywhere. The muzzle flash blinds you. You hold the trigger for maybe 3 seconds, maybe 90 rounds. Then you stop, ears ringing worse than before, trying to see through the smoke from your own gun. Did you hit anything? You don't know. Can't tell. The darkness swallowed your tracers. Might have been shooting at shadows. Might have been shooting at nothing. Your hands are shaking worse now. Klaus appears next to you. He's got a rifle, peers out the other embrasure. "I can't see anything," he shouts. Another bomb. This one is close enough that you feel the heat. The bunker shudders. Something cracks, not the main structure. Maybe the outer wall. Maybe nothing important. Or maybe the whole thing is about to collapse on top of you. You fire again. Shorter burst this time, at nothing, at shadows, at the terror in your own head. The bombing goes on, and on, and on. Your sense of time is completely gone. You fire whenever you think you see something. Most of the time, you probably don't. Klaus fires his rifle. The sound is tiny compared to your machine gun. Pointless. But what else are you supposed to do? Just sit here and wait. At some point, you realize you're almost out of ammunition. The belt feeding into your gun is nearly gone. "Need ammo," you shout at Klaus. He disappears, comes back with another belt. You reload, hands fumbling. Takes you 3 tries to get it seated right. Your water bottle is empty. When did that happen? Your mouth tastes like concrete dust and copper, blood. You bit your tongue at some point and didn't notice. The bombing is less intense now, not stopped, just less. You can hear other things, shouting, gunfire, someone screaming. Can't tell if it's German or American. Does it matter? Pain sounds the same in every language. Hoffman is trying the radio again. Still nothing. He's given up cursing at it. Now he's just sitting there, staring at the dead equipment like it personally betrayed him. Young Becker is in the corner, still crying. Hans sits next to him, hand on the kid's shoulder, not saying anything. What would he say? "It'll be okay?" Yeah, sure it will. The night drags on. You fire, reload, fire, see nothing, hit nothing, waste ammunition shooting at ghosts. Somewhere out there, paratroopers are landing, regrouping, capturing bridges and crossroads, cutting off your reinforcements. Not that you have reinforcements. The panzers are inland, waiting for von Rundstedt's orders, which won't come because von Rundstedt thinks this is a feint. The real invasion will be at Calais, so you're alone. You and a machine gun and a bunker that might collapse any second, and you haven't eaten in 3 days. Your stomach chooses this moment to remind you of that fact. Cramps, sharp and painful. You try to ignore it. Hard to ignore when you're also terrified and exhausted and half deaf. Klaus taps your shoulder, points at his watch. You lean close to see it by the flashlight. 300 hours. 3 in the morning. The bombing started around midnight. 3 hours. Feels like 3 years. The explosions are definitely less now, more scattered. The bombers must be running out of targets, or fuel, or bombs, or all of the above, which means they'll be back, or the ships will come, or both. You're so tired, your eyes burn, every muscle aches. The adrenaline kept you going at first. Now it's wearing off, leaving you shaky and sick. "I need to piss," Klaus says. You almost laugh, because yeah, you do too. Have for a while now. "Go," you tell him. He leaves. You're alone at the gun. The bunker is quieter now. Between the bombs you can hear the ocean, waves hitting the beach. Normal, peaceful, like this isn't happening. You spot movement again. This time you're pretty sure it's real. Figures running, low and fast. Heading inland, paratroopers. You track them with your gun, but they're already past your firing arc, gone into the darkness behind the dunes. How many made it down? How many are out there right now? You have no idea. Nobody does. That's the worst part. The not knowing. You're blind. deaf, cut off. For all you know, the entire invasion force is landing right now and nobody told you. Klaus comes back, looks a little better. Emptying your bladder does wonders for morale, apparently. Your turn, he says. You head to the back. The tiny toilet is just a hole in the floor with a bucket. Smells like you'd expect, but right now, you don't care. You piss. It's dark brown. You're dehydrated, haven't had water in hours, haven't had much water in days. This is how you die, you think, not from bullets, from dehydration in a concrete bunker while the world ends outside. When you get back, Sergeant Hoffman has the radio apart. Batteries are fine. Something else is broken. He's trying to fix it with a flashlight in his mouth and shaking hands. Good luck with that. The bombing has mostly stopped now, just occasional explosions in the distance. The paratroopers must have landed, must be regrouping, which means morning is coming, and with morning comes the real invasion. You sit down next to your gun, just for a minute. Rest your eyes, just for 1 minute. Klaus shakes you awake. You jerk upright. How long were you out? Seconds? Minutes? Look, Klaus says, points out the embrasure. The sky is getting lighter. Dawn. The eastern horizon is grey instead of black. You can see the beach now, sort of, through the smoke and dust. The obstacles are torn up, huge craters everywhere. Some of the mines must have been set off by the bombing. There are bodies on the beach. You can see them now. Not many, maybe a dozen. Paratroopers who landed short, landed in the water or on the obstacles, dead before they hit the ground. But how many made it inland? You watch the sea, grey water, grey sky, grey smoke, and then you see it. At first you think you're hallucinating, exhaustion playing tricks, but no, it's real. Ships, not one ship, not two. The entire horizon is ships, destroyers, battleships, transport vessels, landing craft. Thousands of them, stretching as far as you can see in both directions. A wall of steel. Klaus sees them too. He makes a sound, not quite a word, just a noise of pure shock. Gott im Himmel, Müller whispers. God in heaven. Everyone's at the embrasures now, staring, mouths open. You've never seen anything like it, never imagined anything like it. This isn't an invasion. This is the ocean itself coming to kill you. Your throat is painfully dry. You try to swallow, can't. The ships are getting closer. You can make out details now. Gun turrets, flags, the shapes of landing craft being lowered into the water. How many? Becker asks. His voice cracks. 16 years old, asking a question nobody can answer. Too many. That's how many. Way too many. The first naval gun fires. You see the flash. Seconds later, the shell hits somewhere down the coast. The explosion makes the bombing look like firecrackers. Then another gun fires, and another. Within seconds, the entire fleet is firing. The bunker shakes. The world shakes. This is it. This is really it. You look at Klaus. He looks back. His face is white, drawn. The wall was lost, he says quietly. He's right. You both know it. Everyone knows it. All those months of preparation, all those obstacles and mines and bunkers, all of Rommel's work, none of it matters. Not against this. You grip your machine gun, because what else can you do? The ships keep firing. The shells walk up and down the coast. One hits close enough that shrapnel pings off the bunker's exterior. The sound is like hail on a tin roof. And then, through the smoke and fire and impossible noise, you see them. Landing craft. Dozens of them. Coming straight at your beach. Full of soldiers. Coming to kill you. Hoffman is screaming orders. You can barely hear him over the bombardment. Wait until they're on the beach. Wait, wait. Make every shot count. Your hands find the gun grips, fingers on the trigger. This is what you trained for. This is what all those months of waiting were about. But training didn't prepare you for this, for the sheer scale of it, for the terror, for the hunger and thirst and exhaustion and the certainty that you're about to die. The landing craft get closer, closer. Any second now, the ramps are going to drop, and then you're going to find out if you're actually a soldier or just a terrified kid who wants his mother. Not like your warm bed right now, not like the safety you have right here, right now. This is the moment where everything changes. The first ramp drops at show 6:30. You see it through your gun sights. About 300 meters out, the front of the landing craft splashes down into the surf. Men pour out, Americans. You can tell by the helmets, different shape than British. They're wading through chest-deep water, weighted down with gear, moving slow, too slow. Hoffman screams the order you've been waiting for. Fire. Your finger squeezes the trigger. The MG-42 comes alive. The sound fills the bunker. Spent shells spray across the concrete floor. The gun bucks. Steady. Controlled bursts. Like they taught you. Except they never taught you what it feels like. Through the gun sights, you see men fall, just drop into the water. 1 second they're wading towards you, next second they're gone, swallowed by the surf. You did that. Your stomach lurches, but you keep firing because that's what you do. That's what you're here for. More ramps drop, more landing craft. The beach is filling with them. Dozens. No, hundreds. They just keep coming. How many bullets do you have? Not enough. Never enough for this. Klaus is firing his rifle next to you, methodical. Pick a target, fire, work the bolt. Pick another target, fire. He's not shaking anymore, neither are you. Something happens when the waiting ends, when it's actually happening. Your hands steady, your breathing evens out. Your body just does what it's trained to do, even if your mind is screaming. The naval bombardment continues behind the landing craft. Shells scream overhead, hit somewhere inland. The whole bunker vibrates with each impact. You fire, reload, fire again. Americans are making it to the beach now, throwing themselves behind the obstacles, behind the bodies of their friends, firing back. Bullets ping off the bunker exterior, ricochet. The sound is sharp, angry. One bullet comes through the gun slit, misses your head by inches, hits the back wall with a crack. You duck, instinct, then back up, keep firing. Müller is at the other MG-42 now. Both guns hammering. The noise inside the bunker is insane. Your ears are bleeding. You can feel it. Warm trickle down your neck. Doesn't matter. An explosion rocks the bunker. Tank round. Must be. The Americans brought tanks. You can see them now. Sherman, tanks, wading through the surf on their own, floating somehow. You don't understand how, but they're doing it, and they're firing. Another round hits. Closer. The bunker shakes. Dust rains down. The lights flicker. Keep firing. Your ammunition belt runs out. You reach for another. Klaus hands it to you. He's stopped shooting, just feeding you ammo now. Smart. Better to keep one gun going steady than two guns running out. You reload fast as you can, hands moving on their own, muscle memory back on the gun. The beach is chaos. Bodies everywhere. Americans taking cover, firing, moving forward inch by inch. They're not stopping. You kill them and they keep coming. A landing craft hits a mine, explodes. Men fly through the air, parts of men. The water turns red, but the next craft comes in right behind it, and the next, and the next. They're everywhere, Becker screams. He's at a rifle port, firing wildly, not aiming, just shooting. He's right, though. The beach is packed now, hundreds of Americans, maybe thousands. Hard to count when they're all moving and you're trying to kill them. Your gun overheats. The barrel is glowing. You can see it. Red hot. Barrel change. You shout. Klaus knows what to do. You've drilled this. He grabs the spare barrel. You flip the latch. Hot metal hisses. Your gloves protect your hands but barely. New barrel in. 30 seconds maybe. Feels like forever. Back on the gun, something changes. You can feel it. The Americans aren't just huddling behind obstacles anymore. They're organizing, small groups, moving together, covering each other. These aren't scared kids like you. These are soldiers, real ones, trained, experienced, and they're coming. A group makes it to the seawall, right below your bunker. You can't see them anymore, can't shoot them. They're in your dead zone. That's bad. That's very bad. Grenade! Someone screams. The explosion is muffled, outside the bunker, but close. The Americans are trying to find a way in. Hoffman is screaming into the radio, still broken. He's screaming at nothing, demanding reinforcements that won't come, reporting positions to headquarters that isn't listening. He's losing it. You keep firing. What else can you do? The Americans below are doing something. You hear metal scraping, tools. They're trying to get at the gun ports. A flamethrower lights up your world. Fire shoots through the embrasure. Liquid fire. It splashes against the far wall, against the ceiling. You throw yourself backwards. The heat is incredible. The smell, burning fuel, chemical, choking. Klaus is screaming. His jacket is on fire. You tackle him, roll him, beat at the flames with your hands. He's thrashing, screaming words that aren't words. The fire goes out. His jacket is ruined. His face is blistered, red, already swelling, but he's alive. Water, he gasps. You grab a canteen. There's maybe 2 sips left. You give it to him. He drinks, coughs. His hands are shaking again. Back to the gun. The flamethrower stopped, but they'll try again. You know they will. Muller's gun stops, jammed. He's cursing, yanking at the bolt. It won't move. Just your gun now. You fire, controlled bursts, can't waste ammunition, can't overheat the barrel again. On the beach, Americans are bringing up more equipment. Bangalore torpedoes, long pipes packed with explosives. They're going to blow gaps in the barbed wire. Your bullets can't stop that. Another tank round hits. This one punches through the outer wall, doesn't penetrate the bunker, not completely, but the impact makes your teeth hurt. They're targeting your gun position. The muzzle flash gives you away every time you fire, but if you don't fire, the Americans will overrun you in minutes. No good choices. You fire. The Bangalore goes off. A massive explosion. Section of barbed wire just disappears. Americans pour through the gap, closer now, much closer. You can see their faces, young, scared, determined, just like you. You fire, they fall, more come. We have to fall back, Hans shouts. We have to get out of here, Hoffman rounds on him. Fall back where? This is our position, we hold. We're going to die here. Then we die? Those are our orders. You keep firing. Let them argue. Doesn't change anything. A white phosphorus grenade comes through the gun port. You see it. Time slows down. The grenade hits the floor, bounces, rolls. Phosphorus, you scream. Everyone runs, back, away, as far as you can get in a bunker that's only 10 meters across. The grenade detonates, white smoke, everywhere. Burning, the pieces scatter, land on the floor, on equipment, on flesh. Becker is hit. A piece the size of your thumb lands on his shoulder, burns through his uniform instantly, into his skin, into the muscle underneath. He's screaming, screaming like nothing you've ever heard. You grab him, try to brush it off. Can't. The phosphorus sticks, burns, won't stop burning. Klaus tries to smother it. Doesn't work. The chemical burns through everything. Becker is 16 years old and he's going to die screaming. No, 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 no. You grab a knife. You know what has to be done. You've heard about white phosphorus. It burns until there's nothing left to burn, so you cut it out. You hold Becker down. He's thrashing, strong for a kid. Klaus holds his other arm. Müller holds his legs. You cut fast, deep, carve out the burning chunk of flesh. Becker's screams hit a pitch you didn't know humans could make. The phosphorus chunk falls to the floor. Still burning. Still smoking. Becker passes out. Shock. Blood everywhere. But the burning stopped. You rip off part of your shirt, press it to the wound, try to stop the bleeding. Your hands are covered in his blood. 16 years old. This is what you've been reduced to. Butchering children to save them from burning alive. An explosion rocks the bunker. Bigger than before. The door. They're breaching the door. Hoffman grabs his rifle. They're coming in. Get ready. You drop Becker. Grab your rifle. Your machine gun is still in position, but you can't get to it. Americans are coming through the front. The metal door buckles. Once. Twice. It blows inward. Smoke, fire, shapes moving through it. You fire. Hoffman fires. Müller fires. The Americans fire back. Muzzle flashes in the smoke. Bullets everywhere, ricocheting off concrete. The sound is deafening. Hans goes down. Shot in the chest. He drops. Doesn't move. An American appears in the doorway. You shoot him. He falls. Another one. Hoffman shoots. Misses. The American throws something. Grenade. You dive. Everyone dives. The explosion in the enclosed space is catastrophic. Your ears, your head, can't hear, can't think. Ringing. Just ringing. You look up. Hoffman is down. Half his face is gone. Just gone. Müller is crawling, leg bleeding, bone showing through. More Americans at the door. This is it. This is how you die. You raise your rifle, hands shaking. A voice, American, shouting. Surrender, hands up and hoch. You look at the Americans. 3 of them. Rifles pointed at you. Young faces. Scared faces. Just like yours. You could shoot, die fighting. Or you could live. Becker is bleeding out on the floor. Klaus is burned. Müller's leg is shattered. Hoffman is dead. Hans is dead. For what? For a bunker? For orders from men who aren't here? You drop your rifle. Slowly you raise your hands. Nicht schießen, you say. Don't shoot. The Americans keep their rifles on you, but they don't fire. One of them moves forward, kicks your rifle away, pulls you to your feet. Rough. Scared. He's shaking too. Just a kid, like you. He searches you for weapons, finds your knife, takes it, pushes you toward the door. Outside, the sun is fully up now. The beach is carnage, bodies everywhere. American, German, burning tanks, destroyed landing craft, but more Americans keep coming, more and more. An endless tide. You were right. The wall was lost. It was lost the moment you saw those ships. Maybe it was lost long before that. Maybe it was lost the day Germany invaded Poland, the day they invaded Russia, the day they thought they could fight the whole world and win. Your march down the beach, past dead Americans, past dead Germans, past crying wounded men in both uniforms. A medic is working on Becker. The Americans brought their own medics. They're treating German wounded. Why? You don't understand. You were just trying to kill them. They were trying to kill you. Now they're saving Becker's life. War is insane. An American soldier offers you water. You take it, drink. It's the best thing you've ever tasted. Your hands are still covered in Becker's blood. You sit on the beach, hands on your head, surrounded by other German prisoners, some from your bunker, some from others, all of you staring at the ocean, at the impossible number of ships, at the army that just landed on your beach and swept you aside like you were nothing. You were defending the Atlantic Wall, the pride of the Third Reich, the fortress that would stop any invasion. You lasted 3 hours, your stomach cramps. When did you last eat? 4 days ago? The American guard notices, says something you don't understand, comes back with a ration bar, tosses it to you. You eat it. Chocolate. Real chocolate. The Americans feed their prisoners better than Germany feeds its soldiers. You want to laugh or cry. You're not sure which. More prisoners arrive, more bunkers overrun, more of the Atlantic wall falling, and you sit there, hands bloody, ears ringing, alive, unlike Hoffman, unlike Hans, unlike your warm bed right now, unlike your safety. Right here the invasion continues, and you're watching from the wrong side. You're sitting with about 40 other German prisoners when the guy next to you starts talking. His name is Werner, at least that's what he says. Could be lying, doesn't matter. You're both prisoners now. Names don't mean much. Werner is older, maybe 25, ancient. He's got a bandage wrapped around his head. Blood seeping through. His hands won't stop shaking. Omaha, he says. Just that one word. You look at him. I was at Omaha Beach, he continues. His voice is flat, dead. Widerstands Nest 62. You know it? You shake your head. Don't know the numbered positions. You just knew your bunker, your gun, your section of beach. Strong point 62, Werner says, right above the beach, perfect position, perfect fields of fire. We had everything, MG-42s, artillery, mines. The Americans called our beach the worst one, said it was a slaughterhouse. He stops, stares at his shaking hands. We killed so many, he whispers. So many. The water turned red, actually red, bodies stacking up on the sand, and they just kept coming, wave after wave. We couldn't stop them. We killed hundreds, and it didn't matter. You don't say anything. What would you say? Werner laughs. No humour in it. You know what the funny thing is? We thought we were winning. For hours we thought we were holding them. My lieutenant, Frerking, he was calling out targets through his telescope. I was on the MG-42, 1,200 rounds per minute. I fired for 9 hours. 9 hours. His voice cracks. My hands cramped. I could barely hold the gun by the end. The barrel, we changed it 4 times because it melted, and the Americans just kept coming. What kind of soldiers do that? What kind of men? An American guard walks by. Werner goes quiet, waits until he passes. Then the tanks came, Werner continues. Not just from the beach, from behind. They'd broken through somewhere else, flanked us, and I realised we weren't winning. We were just dying slower. You think about your bunker, 3 hours. Werner fought for 9 hours of killing. How is he even sane? He's not, you realise. Look at his eyes, the 1,000-yard stare. He's here physically, but his mind is still in that bunker, still firing, still watching Americans die and not stopping them. I killed the beast of Omaha, you think, but you don't say it. Another prisoner joins you, younger, maybe your age. He's limping, took shrapnel in the leg. Which beach? Werner asks him. Gold, the kid says. Name is Stefan. British. They bombed us for an hour before landing. Whole bunker was shaking. Then they came ashore and we lasted maybe 60 minutes. Maybe. He sits down heavily, winces. The artillery, Stefan says. That's what got most of us. Not the infantry. The bombardment. They had the range perfect. Hit 3 bunkers in my sector before the landing even started. Just obliterated them. Crews inside were paced. You think about your bunker shaking, the shells walking up and down the coast. You got lucky, sort of. Your bunker survived. The men inside didn't, not all of them, but the bunker is still standing. Juno was worse, another voice says. You turn. It's an older sergeant, probably 40, grey in his hair, face carved from stone. He's missing 2 fingers on his left hand, fresh wound, bandaged. Canadians, he says. Spits, tough bastards, landed right in front of us. We threw everything at them, everything, and they pushed inland anyway, further than anyone else. By noon, they were 3 miles off the beach. He holds up his mangled hand. Tank round hit our bunker. Didn't penetrate, but the impact sheared the gun mount, crushed my hand against the metal. My gunner died. Head trauma from being thrown against the wall. The sergeant looks at the ocean. We were supposed to hold for days, hold until the panzers came, until Rommel came. We held for 4 hours. 4 hours, 9 hours, 60 minutes, 3 hours, different beaches, same story. The Atlantic wall fell in a morning. A new prisoner is brought over. He's not wounded, just looks exhausted, defeated. His uniform is different, not Wehrmacht, Luftwaffe ground crew. Sword Beach, he says when Werner asks. I wasn't even supposed to fight. I'm a mechanic. I fix radios. But when the British came, everyone fought. He shakes his head. The paratroopers took the bridges behind us in the night, cut us off. Then the British landed and we were trapped between them. No retreat, no reinforcements, just us and our rifles against tanks and artillery and thousands of infantry. How long did you last? Stefan asks. The Luftwaffe guy shrugs. I don't know. Time stopped meaning anything. By mid-morning, the British had pushed past us. We were still in our positions, but the war had moved on, left us behind. Eventually, an officer surrendered our group. About 30 of us walked out with our hands up. He looks ashamed. I didn't fire a shot. I was too scared. Just hid in a cellar until it was over. Nobody judges him. How can you? You're all here, all prisoners, all defeated. The Americans keep bringing more. Germans from all over, different units, different stories, all the same ending. An Osttruppen soldier sits down, Georgian maybe. He doesn't speak much German, communicates with hand gestures, points to his beach, makes explosion sounds, shakes his head, points to himself and 2 fingers. 2 of us left. You understand. His whole unit got wiped out. Maybe 50 men. Now it's just him and 1 other guy. He pulls out a piece of paper, a photograph, shows you. A woman, 2 small children. His family, you assume. He says something in Georgian. You don't understand the words, but you understand the meaning. He just wants to go home. Don't you all? More stories. A boy from Utah Beach says the Americans took their bunkers by noon, used flamethrowers, white phosphorus grenades, Bangalore torpedoes to blow the doors. Brutal, efficient. You think about Becker, about carving burning phosphorus out of his shoulder, about his screams. These aren't just stories. This happened, all of it, on 5 different beaches to thousands of German soldiers, all in one morning. An older Unteroffizier, non-commissioned officer, starts talking about Rommel, how the field marshal wasn't even there, how he was in Germany for his wife's birthday. Idiots, the Unteroffizier mutters. All of them. Thought the weather was too bad, thought the invasion would come at Calais, thought we had more time. He spits. Rommel arrived in the evening. Evening by then, all 5 beaches were secure. The Allies had a foothold. Game over. Werner laughs. That dead laugh again. You know what my lieutenant said right before we surrendered? He said, Rommel was right. We had to stop them on the beaches. Now it's too late. Too late, Werner repeats. We're all too late. An American brings food, rations. They distribute them to the prisoners. You get one. Canned meat, crackers, more chocolate. You eat. Your stomach cramps at first. Not used to food, but then it settles. The hunger eases. 4 days without eating. Now you're a prisoner and the Americans feed you. Germany couldn't feed its own soldiers, but the enemy can feed its prisoners. What does that tell you about this war? Stefan is crying, quietly, tears running down his face while he eats his ration. My brother, he says. He's in the panzers, somewhere inland. I don't know where, don't know if he's alive. The sergeant with the missing fingers puts a hand on Stefan's shoulder, says nothing, just sits with him. You all sit together, enemy soldiers who are now just soldiers, just men, all defeated by the same ocean of steel. A British officer comes by. He's looking for someone who speaks English. The Luftwaffe mechanic raises his hand. He speaks a little. The officer asks questions. The mechanic translates, wants to know about minefields, about defensive positions further inland. About gun emplacements. The mechanic answers. Some do, some don't. What does it matter now? The invasion succeeded. What you tell them or don't tell them won't change anything. The officer leaves. More prisoners arrive. These ones are from inland, paratrooper defenders. They fought all night against the Americans who dropped behind the beaches. One of them is barely conscious, carried by two others. He's missing an arm, lost it to a grenade. No medic treats him. The Americans are busy with their own wounded. There are thousands. The beaches are full of casualties on both sides. You realise something. The Americans won, but it cost them. You see it on their faces. The young soldiers guarding you. They're exhausted, traumatised. Some are wounded. They fought through the Atlantic Wall, through the supposedly impregnable fortress, and they did it, but it broke them too. Nobody wins a battle like this. Some just lose less. The afternoon drags on. More prisoners, more stories. A pattern emerges. The bombing, the paratroopers, the naval bombardment, the landing, the fighting, the defeat, every beach, same story, different details, same ending. The Atlantic Wall held for hours, not days, not weeks, hours. Rommel's nightmare came true. The Allies couldn't be stopped on the beaches. And now they're inland, reinforcing, bringing up supplies, building momentum. And where are the panzers? Where are the reinforcements? Still waiting for orders, still thinking this might be a diversion, still hesitating. By the time they arrive, it will be too late. It's already too late. Werner is talking again, rambling, about his 9 hours on the gun, about the Americans he killed, about how it didn't matter. I was good at it, he says. That's the worst part. I was really good at killing them. And it meant nothing. They won anyway. You understand. You were good at your job too, trained, efficient, did everything right, and you're still here, sitting on a beach with your hands behind your head, a prisoner. Stefan asks a question that's been bothering you too. What happens now? To us? Nobody knows. The Americans haven't said. You're just sitting here, waiting, again, always waiting. The sergeant shrugs. Prisoner camp. In England, probably. Maybe America. We sit out the rest of the war, if we're lucky. If we're lucky, he repeats. We live. We go home eventually. We forget this happened. Werner laughs. That dead laugh. Forget? How do you forget 9 hours of killing? How do you forget what we did here? Nobody answers. You look at your hands. Becca's blood is still under your fingernails. You tried to wash it off in the ocean. Didn't work. Will you forget? The bombing, the terror, the Americans coming through the smoke, Hoffman's face disappearing in the grenade blast. Hands dropping without a sound, Becca screaming, no, you won't forget. None of you will. The sun is starting to set. The beach is quieter now. The Americans have moved inland, following the breakthrough, pushing toward Caen, toward Cherbourg. The war is moving on, leaving you behind. Just like the Luftwaffe mechanic said, the war moved on, left you sitting here, defeated, obsolete. More Americans arrive. They're organising the prisoners, getting ready to move you somewhere. A holding area, probably. You stand up, your legs are stiff, you've been sitting for hours. Werner stands too, still shaking, still somewhere else in his mind. Stefan limps to his feet. The sergeant helps him. The Georgian soldier carefully folds his photograph, puts it back in his pocket. His family. Maybe he'll see them again. Maybe. You line up with the others, hands on your heads, American guards with rifles marching you off the beach. As you walk, you see the scope of it, the landing, thousands of vehicles, mountains of supplies, tens of thousands of soldiers, all pouring inland. This isn't just an invasion, this is an army, a whole army, and behind it the ocean full of ships bringing more. Germany can't stop this, you know it, everyone knows it. The question isn't if Germany will lose, it's when, and how many more will die before it's over. You walk past a destroyed bunker, your bunker, the one you defended. Hoffmann died there, Hans died there, others you didn't even know. For what? For a few hours of delay. That's all the Atlantic Wall bought. A few hours. Was it worth it? You don't know. You're 17 years old and you don't know anything anymore, except that you're alive, and that has to count for something, right? Unlike your warm bed, your safety, your peace, you have those now. These men didn't. These men had hell. They march you to a field about 2 kilometers inland. It's just a field, grass, mud, nothing special, except now it's surrounded by barbed wire and American guards with Thompson submachine guns. Hundreds of German prisoners already here, maybe 1,000, more arriving every hour. You find a spot. Sit down in the wet grass. Your whole body aches. Haven't slept in 30 hours. Haven't eaten properly in 5 days, but you're alive. Werner sits next to you, still shaking. Stefan on your other side, favouring his wounded leg. The Georgian soldier stays close too. Safety in numbers, maybe, or just the human need for connection when everything else is stripped away. An American guard tosses you a blanket, just one for the group. You share it, not because you're cold. June evening is mild, but because it's something. A small comfort. The field fills up as darkness falls. You watch them come, bloody, exhausted, defeated, young and old. Wehrmacht, Luftwaffe. Kriegsmarine sailors whose ships got sunk. Osttruppen who look relieved to be captured. One group gets marched in under heavy guard, SS. You can tell by the uniforms. They get put in a separate area. The Americans aren't taking chances with those guys. Smart. A medic comes through. American, Red Cross on his helmet. He's checking wounds. Gives Stefan something for his leg. Painkiller, maybe. Stefan's face relaxes for the first time in hours. The medic looks at Werner's head wound, changes the bandage, says something in English. Werner doesn't understand, but nods anyway. Then the medic sees your hands, Becker's blood. He grabs your wrist, you flinch, think he's going to hurt you, but he just examines your hands. Looking for wounds, you shake your head, not your blood. He nods, moves on. Why are they doing this? You were shooting at them this morning. Killing their friends. Now they're treating your wounds? Makes no sense. War makes no sense. Someone near you starts talking. A corporal from the 352nd Infantry Division. Older guy, maybe 35. Heard Rommel finally showed up, he says, around 1800 hours, 6 in the evening, little late there, Desert Fox. Bitter laughter from the others. What's he gonna do? Werner asks. The Americans are already miles inland. The corporal shrugs. Panzers are moving now. 21st Panzer Division launched a counterattack, tried to push to the coast between the British beaches. And? Stefan asks. And they got stopped. British anti-tank guns, air support. Panzers took heavy losses and pulled back. So the Panzers finally arrived, finally got permission to move. And it didn't matter. Too late. Too little. Story of this whole day. You lean back on your elbows, stare at the sky. It's getting dark. Stars coming out. Beautiful night. Somewhere out there, men are still fighting. Dying. The battle isn't over, just over for you. An American brings food, more rations. They're feeding 1,000 German prisoners while their own soldiers are fighting. How do they have this much food? You eat? Can't help it. Your body needs fuel. The crackers taste like cardboard, but you don't care. Werner eats slowly, mechanically, like a machine running on muscle memory. His eyes are somewhere else. I had a wife, he says suddenly, back in Cologne, married 3 years, no children yet. We were waiting until after the war. Nobody responds. What do you say to that? I wrote her last week, Werner continues, told her the war would be over soon, told her I'd be home by Christmas. He laughs, that dead laugh. Christmas, right, I'll be in a POW camp by Christmas, if I'm lucky. Better than dead, the corporal says. Is it? Werner looks at him. I killed so many today, so many. When I close my eyes, I see them, falling, drowning, dying, and I did that. Me. You were following orders, the corporal says, doing your duty. Duty? Werner spits. My duty was to slaughter kids who were just following their own orders. Some duty. Silence. Heavy. Nobody argues with him. Because he's right. The Georgian soldier says something, points at the stars, makes a gesture like flying. The Luftwaffe mechanic is nearby. He translates. He says the planes, so many planes, never saw anything like it. You remember, this morning feels like a year ago. The sky full of bombers, paratroopers. Now fighters and bombers are still up there, supporting the ground troops. The Luftwaffe is nowhere. Where are our planes? Stefan asks. Young, still doesn't fully understand. There are no planes, the mechanic says quietly. Not anymore. They're all in Germany, defending against British bombers. Or in the east, fighting the Russians. Nothing left for France. So we were alone, Stefan says, the whole time. Just us against everything. Yeah, the mechanic says, just us. More prisoners arrive. These ones are from the 91st Air Landing Division. They fought the American paratroopers inland all night and all day. Chaos, one of them says. He's got a bandage covering one eye. Complete chaos. Americans dropped everywhere. We didn't know where they were, couldn't organise. Our general got killed, shot by paratroopers at dawn. General Wilhelm Falley. You heard of him. Dead before sunrise on D-Day, the officer continues. By midday, the paratroopers controlled all the key crossroads, cut us off. We couldn't reinforce the beaches, couldn't fall back, just got surrounded and picked apart. Same story, different location, same ending. You're starting to see the full picture. The Allies didn't just land on beaches. They dropped paratroopers behind the defences, cut communications, blocked reinforcements, bombed the roads, then came ashore with overwhelming force. This wasn't a battle. This was a chess game where Germany was in checkmate before the first move. Night falls completely. Guards light fires. Not for you, for themselves. You sit in the darkness, tired but can't sleep. Too much adrenaline still in your system, too many images burned into your brain. Stefan falls asleep, curled up on the ground like a child. He's maybe 18, younger than you thought. His leg wound will leave a scar. If it doesn't get infected, the corporal lights a cigarette, American tobacco. One of the guards gave it to him. He takes a long drag, passes it around. You take a puff. Never smoked before. It makes you cough, but the warmth feels good, reminds you you're human, still capable of sensation beyond fear and exhaustion. Werner refuses the cigarette, just stares at his hands. They're not shaking anymore, just still. Dead still. You think we'll see our families again? Someone asks. Young voice. Can't see who in the darkness. Maybe, the corporal says. War can't last forever. We'll go to a camp, sit it out, go home when it's done. And if Germany wins? The young voice asks. Nobody laughs, but nobody answers either, because nobody believes Germany can win. Not anymore, not after today. You all saw it, the ships, the planes, the endless soldiers and tanks and supplies. America has an ocean of everything. Germany has nothing left. It's just a matter of time now. Voices carry across the field, prisoners talking, sharing stories, processing what happened. You hear fragments. Whole platoon gone in the first hour. Saw a Tiger tank get hit by 5 shells. Americans took the Point du Hoc, climbed the cliffs. British reached Pegasus Bridge. Canadians pushed 3 miles inland. Every story confirms it. The Atlantic Wall failed. Completely. Utterly. All 5 beaches secured. All objectives taken or being taken. Thousands of German soldiers killed. Thousands more captured. You're one of maybe 10,000 prisoners tonight. Tomorrow there will be more. An American officer walks through the field, checking on things. He stops near your group, says something to a guard, they talk, then he moves on, professional, calm, like this is just another day, which for them, maybe it is. They trained for this, planned for years, executed perfectly. For you, it's the worst day of your life. For them, it's D-Day, the invasion they've been preparing for, and they won. You think about the German High Command sitting in their headquarters, looking at maps, realizing what happened. 5 beaches, all breached, paratroopers behind the lines, no way to push the Allies back into the sea. What are they thinking right now? Panic, probably. Scrambling to move reserves, trying to contain the breakthrough, knowing it's already too late. Should have listened to Rommel, should have put the panzers on the coast, should have assumed the invasion would come in bad weather, should have, too late now. Werner lies down, curls up like Stefan. You watch him, wonder if he'll sleep, wonder if he'll ever stop shaking when he's awake. 9 hours on a machine gun. How many did he kill? Hundreds? More? And it didn't matter. That's the part that breaks you. Not the killing, not the dying, the futility, the waste. All those obstacles, all those mines, all those bunkers, all that concrete and steel and effort, gone in a morning. You lie down too. The ground is wet, cold, uncomfortable. Your body doesn't care. It's shutting down. Sleep coming whether you want it or not. Last thought before darkness takes you. You're alive. Against all odds, you survived. But so many didn't. Hoffman, Hans, the men in the bunkers that got obliterated by naval guns, the paratroopers who landed in flooded fields and drowned, the tankers who got hit by American bazookas, all dead, for nothing, for a few hours of delay. Was it worth it? You don't know. We'll never know. Sleep takes you. Dreams come. Bad ones. The bunker shaking. Americans at the door. Becca screaming. White phosphorus burning through flesh. You're cutting. Blood everywhere. You wake up gasping, heart pounding. It's still dark, maybe midnight, maybe later. Around you, other prisoners sleep or try to. Some moan in their sleep. Nightmares. Everyone has nightmares tonight. You sit up, try to calm down, breathe. An American guard walks by. Young, your age may be. He looks at you, you look at him. For a moment, you're both just kids, scared, tired, wanting to go home. Then he moves on. Duty calls. You lie back down, don't sleep, just stare at stars. Think about your mother, your sister, home. Will you see them again? When? The war isn't over, not by a long shot, but today decided it. Germany lost today, even if the fighting continues for months or years. Today was the beginning of the end, and you were there, witnessed it, survived it, for better or worse. Dawn will come soon. Another day as a prisoner. Another day of not knowing what happens next. But for now, you rest in a muddy field, surrounded by defeated men, guarded by victorious enemies who feed you and treat your wounds. War is strange. You close your eyes again. Force yourself to breathe slowly. In, out, in, out. The nightmares wait, but so does sleep. You need the sleep more. Tomorrow will bring more questions, more uncertainty, more processing of what happened. Tonight you just need to survive until morning, and you do. Unlike your warm sheets, your soft pillow, your safety, you have those things now. These men had mud and fear and the weight of defeat. Morning comes cold and grey. You wake up stiff. Every muscle screams. Sleeping on wet ground will do that. Stefan is already awake, staring at nothing. His leg is worse. You can see it. The bandage is soaked through, red and yellow, infection setting in. Werner didn't sleep at all. You can tell he's sitting exactly where he was last night, same position, eyes fixed on his hands. The corporal is talking to another prisoner, older guy, white hair, probably shouldn't even be in the army, too old, but Germany drafted everyone by the end. "They're moving us today," the corporal says, "to a bigger camp, then maybe to England." England, across the channel, the place you were supposed to defend against. Now you're going there as a prisoner. Life is weird. American guards bring breakfast, rations again, coffee, real coffee, not the German substitute made from acorns and regret. You drink it. Tastes good, feels good, warmth spreading through your chest. Stefan can't eat. The pain in his leg is too much. He just sits there, sweating, face pale. An American medic notices, comes over, examines the leg, says something sharp to another medic. They bring a stretcher. Stefan looks terrified. "It's okay," you tell him. "They're helping." Are they? You don't actually know, but what else can you say? They load Stefan onto the stretcher, carry him away. He looks back at you once, young face, scared. You might never see him again. That thought sits heavy in your chest. The Georgian soldier watches Stefan go, says something soft in his language. Sounds like a prayer. Maybe it is. More prisoners wake up. The field comes alive with movement, coughing, groaning, the sounds of 1,000 men in pain waking to another day of uncertainty. An American lieutenant walks through. He's looking for someone, stops at your group. "Anyone speak English?" he asks in German. Accent is terrible, but you understand. The Luftwaffe mechanic raises his hand. The lieutenant pulls him aside. They talk. The mechanic translates for others nearby. He wants to know about the 352nd Division, the mechanic says, where they were positioned, how many men. The corporal answers, "What's the point of keeping secrets now? The Americans already won. About 12,000 men," the corporal says, "spread along the coast from Grand Camp to the WWII River. Half of them are gone now, dead or captured." The lieutenant nods, makes notes, asks more questions. How many artillery pieces? Where were the minefields? What about the radar stations? The corporal answers it all, mechanical, like he's reciting from a manual. The lieutenant leaves. The mechanic sits back down. "Polite," he says. The American, very polite, said thank you. Werner laughs, that dead laugh. Polite while he conquers us. How nice. But he's right, in a way. The Americans are polite, professional. They could be brutal, beat prisoners, starve them. You've heard stories about what happens to prisoners on the Eastern Front. But here, they feed you, treat your wounds, say thank you. Weird way to win a war. A commotion near the fence. You look over. They're bringing in new prisoners. These ones are different. Not from the beaches. These are from the fighting inland. They look worse than you do. Covered in mud. Some wounded. All exhausted. One of them collapses as soon as he's through the gate, just drops. Medics rush over. The corporal goes to talk to them, comes back with news. "The British took Bayeux," he says, "yesterday evening, first major town to fall. Americans are pushing toward Carentan, trying to link up the beaches, so it's spreading. The invasion isn't just on the beaches anymore. It's pushing inland, taking towns, connecting the beachheads into one big front. Can't be stopped now." "What about the panzers?" someone asks. The corporal shrugs. 12th SS Panzer Division is moving up, but the Allies have air superiority. Every time the panzers move during daylight, Allied planes hit them. They can only move at night. Too slow, too little, too late, always too late. You think about the joke. If you see a black plane, it's British. If you see a white plane, it's American. If you see nothing, it's the Luftwaffe. Not funny anymore, just true, just sad. Werner stands up, Walks away from the group. You watch him go. He stops at the fence, grabs the barbed wire, just stands there, staring at nothing. You should go to him, check on him, but what would you say? It's okay. It's not okay. It'll get better. It won't. Not for a long time. The Georgian soldier goes instead, puts a hand on Werner's shoulder, doesn't say anything, just stands with him. Sometimes that's enough. An American guard walks by with a camera, taking photos, documenting the prisoners, the victory. You wonder if your family will see those photos someday. Your mother opening a newspaper, seeing you sitting in a muddy field, hands behind your head, defeated. What will she think? Shame? Relief that you're alive? Both? The guard with the camera stops near you, points the lens. Click. You're now part of history. Part of the photographic record of D-Day, the day the Atlantic Wall fell. The day Germany lost the war, even if the fighting continues, you lost. That's the hardest part to accept. You did everything right, trained, followed orders, fought hard, and you still lost because the other side was bigger, stronger, better supplied, more motivated, or maybe just luckier. No, not luck. Planning. Years of planning. The Allies prepared for this, trained for this, built an invasion force that couldn't be stopped. Germany tried to fight the whole world at once. Russia, Britain, America, all at the same time. Stupid, arrogant, doomed from the start. But they sent you anyway. 17 years old with a rifle. Told you to defend the Atlantic Wall. The impregnable fortress lasted 3 hours. A group of SS prisoners is being marched past, heavily guarded. The Americans don't trust them. Smart. You don't trust them either. One of the SS men looks at you as he passes, sneers, like you're weak for being captured. You stare back, you fought, you did your part. What did he do? Stand around looking tough in a black uniform? The SS man looks away first. Good. The corporal comes back. He's been talking to everyone, gathering information. Old habit. Officers like to know what's happening. Estimates say about 10,000 dead on the Allied side, he says. Maybe more. Mostly Americans at Omaha Beach. 10,000 in one day. You killed some of them. Werner killed hundreds. All the bunkers combined killed thousands. And the Allies still won. What kind of nation can lose 10,000 men in a day and keep fighting? America. That's what kind. They have so many men. So much equipment, so much everything. Germany is running on empty, using old men and boys, foreign conscripts, captured weapons, rationed food, and still the leaders in Berlin think they can win. Delusional. The sun breaks through the clouds, weak light, not warm, but brighter than the grey dawn. You close your eyes, turn your face toward it, just for a moment, feel something other than cold and damp and fear. When you open them, Werner is sitting next to you again, the Georgian soldier on his other side. You think there's a hell? Werner asks suddenly. Strange question. Probably, you say. You think that's where we're going? For what we did? You think about it, really think about it. Don't know, you finally say. We were soldiers, following orders. Does that count? The Americans we killed, Werner says, they were following orders too. Doesn't make them less dead. True. Maybe hell is for the ones who gave the orders, you say. Hitler, the generals, the ones who started this war. Werner considers this, nods slowly. I hope so, he says quietly. I really hope so. The Georgian soldier says something. The mechanic translates. He says in his village they believe soldiers who die in battle go to a special place, not heaven, not hell, somewhere in between, where they wait until all wars are over. Sounds crowded, the corporal mutters, but it's a nice thought. A place for soldiers, all soldiers, just waiting for peace. You'd like that. A place where German and American and British and Russian soldiers all just wait together. No more fighting, no more dying, just waiting for the world to stop being stupid. An American chaplain walks through the field. Army priest. He's talking to prisoners, offering comfort, words in German and English and broken French. He stops at your group, asks if anyone needs prayer. Werner looks up. Can you pray for the dead? The chaplain nods. Of course. Good, Werner says. Pray for all of them. The ones I killed. The ones who killed my friends. All of them. The chaplain bows his head, says a prayer. You don't really listen to the words, just the tone, calm, peaceful. When he finishes, Werner looks a little better, just a little, but it's something. The chaplain moves on, finds other prisoners who need comfort. There are many. You watch him go. Wonder what it's like, being a priest in a war, blessing men who kill, comforting men who die. Strange job. Afternoon comes. Guards organise prisoners into groups. They're moving you. Just like the corporal said, trucks arrive. American trucks, big ones. You load up. 20 men per truck, cramped, but better than walking. The truck drives inland, away from the beaches, away from the Atlantic Wall. Through the window slats you see the destruction. Bombed buildings, burnt vehicles, dead horses in the ditches. And American soldiers. Everywhere, thousands of them, moving inland, setting up camps, unloading supplies. The invasion is real, it's massive, and it's unstoppable. You pass through a village. French civilians stand outside their homes, watching. Their faces are hard to read, not celebrating, but not mourning either, just watching their occupiers being defeated. One old woman makes eye contact with you through the truck slats. You remember what the viral script said. The French no longer felt the need to be friendly to their occupiers. She doesn't wave, doesn't smile, just watches you pass. Can't blame her. You were the enemy, occupying her country for 4 years. Now you're leaving, not by choice, but leaving. The truck stops at a larger camp, more organised, barbed wire, guard towers, rows of tents. You unload. Get processed, give your name, rank, unit. They write it all down, take your photo, give you a number. You're not a soldier anymore, just a number. Prisoner 4,281. 4,281 captured Germans, and that's just this camp. There are others. How many total? 10,000? 20? The Atlantic Wall defending force gone in 36 hours. You get assigned to a tent. 10 men per tent. Werner ends up with you, the Georgian soldier too, some others you don't know. You lie down on a cot, an actual cot, not concrete, not mud, a cot with a thin mattress. Luxury. Your body doesn't care that it's thin, doesn't care that the tent leaks. You're horizontal, off the ground. That's enough. Werner lies down too, stares at the tent ceiling. Think Stefan will be okay? He asks. You shrug. Hope so, but that infection looked bad. Think we'll be okay? Werner asks. Bigger question. Yeah, you say. We'll be okay, eventually. You don't know if you believe it, but saying it helps. Werner closes his eyes. Maybe he'll sleep. Maybe the nightmares will leave him alone. Just for a few hours. You close your eyes too. Different from your bed at home. Different from your safe, warm sheets. But it's rest, and rest is what you need. The war continues without you. Somewhere out there, Germans and Americans are still fighting, still dying, but not you. Not today. Today, you rest. Tomorrow, who knows, but today, you survived. That's enough. Days blur together after that. You lose track. Is it June 10th? 12th? Doesn't matter. Time moves different when you're a prisoner. Slow, repetitive, empty, wake up, eat, sit, eat, sleep, repeat. The Americans feed you twice a day. Same rations they eat. Sometimes better. You're gaining weight. Your ribs don't show through your shirt anymore. Weird. You're a prisoner and you're healthier than when you were a soldier. Werner is getting worse though. Not physically. Physically he's fine. The head wound healed clean. But mentally, that's different. He barely talks now, just sits, stares. Sometimes his lips move, like he's counting. You think he's reliving those 9 hours, counting the Americans he killed. You don't ask. The Georgian soldier got moved, different camp. You woke up one morning and he was just gone. Didn't even get to say goodbye. Hope he makes it home. Hope he sees that wife and those kids in the photograph. Probably won't. The Soviets aren't gentle with prisoners, especially ones who fought for Germany, even if they were forced. New prisoners arrive daily. The fighting in Normandy is brutal. The Americans and British are pushing inland slowly. The Germans are making them pay for every metre, but they're still pushing, still advancing. That's what matters. You hear stories. Caen is surrounded, Cherbourg under siege. The hedgerow country is a nightmare. Bocage, they call it. Dense hedges and narrow lanes, perfect for defence. Americans are taking heavy casualties, but they keep coming, always keep coming. One new prisoner tells you about the 12th SS Panzer Division, the Hitler Youth Division, young guys, fanatical, good soldiers. They fought like demons, he says, stopped the British cold, but they're taking losses, heavy losses. The Allied planes are everywhere. You can't move during the day, can't bring up supplies, can't do anything. Same story. Different day, Germany fights hard, bleeds the Allies, but loses anyway. It's just math now. The Allies have more men, more tanks, more planes, more everything. Germany has courage and desperation. Turns out that's not enough. A guard tells you news. Doesn't have to, but he does. His German is pretty good. Learned it from his grandparents. Rome fell, he says, June 4th, 2 days before we landed here. Rome, gone. Italy collapsing, Germany fighting on 2 major fronts, soon to be 3 when the Soviets launch their summer offensive. You do the math. It doesn't add up to German victory. Werner laughs when he hears that dead laugh. We're doomed. We've been doomed. And they still sent us to die on those beaches. The guard looks uncomfortable, walks away. Can't blame him. What do you say to that? You get mail. Sort of. The Red Cross is collecting names, sending lists to Germany, so families know who's alive, who's captured. You write your name, your mother's address, your sister's name. Will they get it? You don't know. Mail in Germany is spotty. Bombing campaigns disrupt everything. But maybe. Maybe your mother will get a letter saying you're alive. Prisoner, but alive. Better than dead. A lot better than dead. Stefan never came back. You asked about him. The guards checked, transferred to a medical facility. Leg got amputated. Infection was too bad. 18 years old. Lost his leg defending a beach that fell in 3 hours. You think about that a lot. All that sacrifice. All that pain for nothing. The Atlantic Wall was supposed to hold for weeks, months maybe, held for hours, and guys like Stefan paid the price. You're walking the perimeter one day, as much as you can walk inside the wire, just moving, staying sane. A new prisoner joins you, older, maybe 45, too old for combat, but Germany didn't care. Oscar, he says, his name. You tell him yours. He nods. I was at Point du Hoc, Oscar says. You know it. You've heard. Cliffs. American Rangers climbed them under fire, took the gun position on top. I wasn't in the bunker, Oscar continues. I was in the reserve trench, watched the Rangers come up. Ropes, ladders. We shot them. They kept climbing. Shot more. They kept coming. He shakes his head. What kind of men climb a cliff while you're shooting at them? Americans, you say. Yeah. Americans. He's quiet for a moment. We held for 2 days. 2 days. No reinforcements. No supplies. Finally, they overran us. I saw a ranger up close. Just a kid. 20 years old maybe. Covered in mud and blood. He was crying. Crying? Yeah, crying and shooting. Lost his friends climbing that cliff, but he kept fighting. Oscar stops walking, looks at you. We're fighting the wrong enemy. Anyone who can send men up cliffs like that, anyone with that kind of courage, we should be fighting with them, not against them. Don't respond. What's there to say? He's right, though. The Americans, the British, the Canadians, they're not cowards, not weak, they're soldiers, good ones. Germany told you the Allies were soft, decadent, would break easily. They didn't break. You did. News filters in. The Soviets launched Operation Bagration, massive offensive in the east, attacking Army Group Center. The guard with good German tells you. They're destroying whole German divisions, 30 divisions encircled, maybe more. 30 divisions gone in the east, while the west bleeds Germany in Normandy, surrounded, outnumbered, outsupplied. What's the point? Why keep fighting? Pride, maybe, stubbornness, fear of what happens if they surrender, or maybe the leaders in Berlin are just insane. Probably that. You lie in your tent at night, listen to other prisoners breathe, snore, cry in their sleep. Everyone has nightmares every single night. You've learned to tell, the twitching, the moaning, the sudden gasps. Werner has it worst. He wakes up screaming sometimes, can't help it, can't control it. You don't judge. You have your own nightmares. The bunker, the flamethrower, Becker screaming, your knife cutting into his shoulder. You'll carry that forever. The feel of it, the sound, the smell. Some things don't fade, don't get better with time. They just become part of you, part of who you are now. You're not the same person who woke up in that bunker on June 5th. That person died, somewhere between the bombing and the surrender. You're someone else now, someone who knows what war really is, what it costs, what it takes, and you're only 17. The Americans start showing movies, morale thing probably. Keep the prisoners calm, occupied. You watch one, American film, Charlie Chaplin, The Great Dictator. They show it with German subtitles. It's making fun of Hitler. You should be offended, angry, but you laugh, can't help it. It's funny and accurate. The little mustache, the ranting, the insanity. Werner doesn't laugh, just watches, face blank. After, he says, "We died for that, for a madman, for a joke." You don't argue. A chaplain visits, different one than before, Catholic priest. He offers confession. You're not Catholic, but you go anyway. What do you confess? Killing Americans, following orders, surviving when others died, all of it, everything. You tell him about the bunker, about Becker, about the Americans drowning in the surf while you shot them. The priest listens, doesn't judge, just listens. At the end, he says, "You were a soldier in a terrible war. You did what you thought was right. That's all any of us can do. Doesn't make you feel better, but it helps, a little." You ask him about hell, about Werner's question. The priest thinks for a long moment. I think hell is what we make here, what we do to each other. The real hell is knowing we could have chosen differently, could have been better, and weren't. Heavy answer. But maybe true. The camp gets more organised. They're sorting prisoners by rank, by unit, by nationality. The Osttruppen get separated, sent somewhere else. You watch them go, feel bad for them. They got forced into this war, fought for a side that wasn't theirs. And now they'll probably face execution if they go back to the Soviet Union. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong war. Story of everyone here, really. You're classified as Wehrmacht, regular army, low rank, no SS connections, no war crimes. That matters. The SS prisoners get treated different, harsher. The Americans don't trust them, can't blame them for that. You get put in a work detail, cleaning, maintenance, basic stuff, keeps you busy. Keeps you from thinking too much. Werner gets put in too. He works mechanical, doesn't talk, just does the job. Goes back to the tent, stares. You're worried about him, really worried. You tell a guard, the one with good German. He listens, makes a note. Next day, Werner gets taken to see a doctor, American doctor. They talk, long conversation. Werner comes back with pills. For sleeping, for anxiety. They have medicine for this? He asks, genuinely surprised. America has medicine for everything, apparently, even for broken minds. The pills help. A little. Werner sleeps better. Stops screaming every night. Just most nights. Progress. Small, but progress. You wonder about home. What's happening there? The bombing has to be getting worse. The Soviets pushing from the east, Americans from the west. Germany is being crushed, slowly, inevitably. How long until it's over? Months? A year? Can't be much longer. The math doesn't work. Germany is out of everything. Out of fuel, out of steel, out of men. Just a matter of time now. Until surrender. Until the end. You'll wait it out here, in this camp, fed, safe, bored, while Germany burns. Part of you feels guilty for that, being safe while your country dies, but another part, a growing part, doesn't care. You did your part, fought, nearly died, lost friends. What more do they want from you? Oscar finds you again. He's in the same work detail. You talk while cleaning. You going to go back? He asks. After the war? To Germany. Where else would I go? He shrugs. Lot of guys are talking about not going back, starting over somewhere else. America maybe, Canada, somewhere new. You think about that. Leave Germany? Never see your mother again? Your sister? Can't imagine it. But you can't imagine going back either. To what? A destroyed country. A defeated nation. The shame of having fought for the losing side? Hard choice. I'll decide when the war ends, you say. If it ever ends. It'll end, Oscar says. Soon. Has to. Germany can't last much longer. He's right. Everyone knows it. Even the guards know it. Sometimes they talk like the war is already over, like it's just paperwork now. Formalities, the fighting continues, but the outcome isn't in doubt. Not anymore. You lie down that night, tired, always tired, even though you don't do much. Boredom is exhausting. Werner is already asleep. The pills are working. His breathing is steady, calm. Good. He needs the rest, needs the peace, even if it's chemical, even if it's temporary. You close your eyes, think about your bed at home, your real bed, soft, warm, safe. Will you ever sleep in it again? You don't know, but you're alive to wonder about it. That counts for something. You survived D-Day, survived the Atlantic Wall, survived the biggest invasion in history, 17 years old, and you've seen more than most people see in a lifetime. You'll carry it forever. The memories, the nightmares, the guilt and grief and confusion, but you'll carry it alive. That's the difference between you and Hoffman, between you and Hans, between you and all the others who didn't make it off that beach. You're alive. And tomorrow, you'll wake up. And the day after that. And the day after that. Until this war ends. Until you can go home, wherever home is now. Sleep comes, gentler tonight. The dreams are still there, but quieter, softer. You're healing, slowly, very slowly, but healing. Unlike the cold concrete bunker, unlike the terror and the blood, you have peace now, relative peace, and that's enough. For tonight, that's enough. The war ends on May 8th, 1945. You're in a camp in England by then, transferred months ago. Across the channel, the place you were supposed to keep the Americans from reaching. Now you're living there. Life is strange like that. When the news comes, nobody celebrates. Not really. The guards are happy, relieved, but the prisoners just sit there, quiet. It's over, finally over. But what did you win? You lost everything. Your country defeated, your army destroyed, your leaders dead or in hiding. You're 18 now, 19 in a few months. You spent your 17th birthday in that bunker on the Atlantic Wall, spent your 18th in a prisoner camp, some birthday. Werner is sitting next to you when the announcement comes. He's better now. Not good, but better. The pills helped. Time helped more. He still doesn't talk much, but he sleeps. That's something. What happens now? He asks. Good question. The guards say they'll start sending prisoners home. Slowly. Processing everyone. Verifying identities. Making sure no war criminals slip through. Could take months, maybe a year, but you'll go home eventually. To what, though? Germany is rubble. That's what the guards say. Cities bombed flat, infrastructure destroyed, millions dead, millions more displaced. Your mother, your sister, are they alive? You don't know. Haven't heard anything. The Red Cross is trying, but the records are a mess. Everything is a mess. You might go home to nothing. Empty houses, graves, memories. Or you might go home and rebuild. Start over. Make something new from the ashes. Don't know which yet. The camp empties slowly over the summer. First the sick, then the wounded, then the rest. In groups, organised, methodical. The Americans and British are good at organisation. You've learned that. They plan everything, execute everything efficiently. That's how they won. Not just superior numbers, superior organisation, superior logistics. Germany had courage. The Allies had spreadsheets. Turns out spreadsheets win wars. Werner leaves in August. He gets cleared. No war crimes. Just a soldier who followed orders. They put him on a train. You shake his hand. Don't know what to say. Take care of yourself is all you manage. He nods. You too. Then he's gone. You never see him again. Don't know what happened to him. If he made it home. If he found his wife. If he ever stopped counting the Americans he killed. Hope he found peace. Doubt it, but hope anyway. Oscar leaves in September. He's going back to Germany, going to look for his family, going to rebuild. Come with me, he says. Germany needs young men, strong men, for rebuilding. You think about it, really think about it, but you shake your head. Maybe later, not yet. You're not ready. Don't know if you'll ever be ready. Oscar understands. He was at Pointe du Hoc. He has his own nightmares. His own ghosts. When you're ready, he says, Germany will still be there. You get cleared in October. They verify your story, check your records, no SS connections, no atrocities, just a regular soldier defending a beach. You're free to go. The guard who speaks German, the one who helped Werner, he's the one who tells you. You going back? He asks. You shrug. Don't know yet. Maybe. He nods. Understands. War changes everything. Can't go back to who you were before. Can only go forward to whoever you're becoming. Smart words for a guard. What will you do? You ask him. Go home. Minnesota. My dad has a farm. I'll work there. Try to forget all this. You think you can forget? He looks at you. Really looks at you. No, but I'll try anyway. You leave the camp on October 15th, 1945. The Atlantic Wall fell on June 6th, 1944, 16 months ago. 16 months of being a prisoner, of waiting, of not knowing, of slowly healing wounds that aren't all physical. They give you civilian clothes, a little money, papers saying you were a prisoner, cleared, not a threat. You take a train south, not to Germany, not yet. You go to France instead. Don't know why, something pulling you back, unfinished business maybe. You end up in Normandy, near the beach where you fought, where you nearly died. It's different now, quiet, peaceful. The obstacles are gone, the bunkers are still there, empty, silent. You walk on the beach. October wind is cold, grey sky, grey water, grey sand, same colours as D-Day morning, but quieter, calmer. You find your bunker, or what's left of it. Americans used it for target practice at some point. Holes in the concrete, graffiti, rust. You go inside. It's empty. No guns, no ammunition, no blood, just concrete and shadows and memories. You stand where your MG-42 was. Look out through the embrasure, at the beach, the water. Americans died out there, hundreds of them, thousands. You killed some of them. You don't know how many, don't want to know, but they died. Young men, like you, just following orders, just doing their job. And for what? To defeat Hitler, to liberate Europe, to stop the madness. Worth it? You don't know. Ask the dead Americans. Ask the dead Germans. Ask Hoffman and Hans and all the others buried in cemeteries across Normandy. They can't answer. That's the problem with the dead. They're silent. You sit down on the cold concrete, back against the wall, same wall you pressed against when the bunker shook from naval bombardment, and you cry. First time since it happened. First time you've let yourself feel it. All of it. The fear, the pain, the loss, the waste. You cry until there's nothing left, until you're empty. Then you stand up, walk out of the bunker, don't look back. You spend a week in France, walking, thinking, processing. You meet some French people. They're wary at first. You're German, the enemy, the occupiers. But when you tell them you were a prisoner, that you fought here and lost, that you're just trying to understand, they soften a little. One old man buys you coffee, tells you about the occupation, about the fear, about watching Germans patrol his streets for 4 years, but also about the young German soldiers, kids, really, scared, homesick, just doing what they were told. You're not monsters, he says. You're just men in a terrible situation. You thank him, don't know if he's right, but it helps to hear it. You leave France in November, head to Germany, finally. Time to face it. The train crosses the border. You look out the window. Destruction everywhere. Bombed cities, burnt forests, shattered bridges. This is what war looks like after it ends. Not glory, not victory, just rubble and grief and the hard work of rebuilding. You find your hometown, or what's left of it. Bombs hit the city centre. Your street is damaged but standing. Your house is still there. Smaller than you remember. Sadder. You knock on the door, heart pounding. Your mother answers. She stares at you, doesn't recognise you at first. You're taller now, thinner. Older, much older than 18. Then she knows. Her hands fly to her mouth. Mama, you say. She pulls you inside, holds you, cries. You cry too. Your sister is there, 13 now. She was 10 when you left. Grown up, changed. They're both alive. That's all that matters. Your mother makes you sit, makes you eat. Real food, German food. Somehow she has it. Somehow she's kept things together. She asks about the war. You tell her some of it. Not all, not the worst parts. Just that you fought, got captured, came home. She doesn't push. She understands. Some things you can't talk about. That night you sleep in your old bed. Your real bed, soft, warm, safe. The nightmares come anyway. They always do. The bunker, the bombing, the Americans, Becca screaming. But you wake up in your own bed, in your own room, your mother downstairs, your sister in the next room, home, you're home. It doesn't fix anything, doesn't erase what happened, doesn't bring back the dead. But it's something, a place to start, a foundation to build on. You help your mother rebuild, literally. The house needs repairs, the neighbourhood needs work, the whole country needs everything. You work, physical labour, it helps, tires you out, makes you too exhausted for nightmares sometimes. Slowly, Germany rebuilds. Slowly, you rebuild. It takes years, decades, but it happens. The bunkers in Normandy become tourist sites, memorials, places to remember, to learn, to never forget. You don't go back, can't. Too many ghosts. But you hear about it, about the ceremonies, about the veterans who return, American, British, Canadian, German, all old men now, shaking hands, making peace. Some wounds heal, some don't. You just learn to live with them. Werner, Stefan, The Georgian soldier, Oscar, you wonder about them sometimes. If they made it, if they're okay, you'll never know. That's war too, the not knowing, the wondering, the ghosts. But you're alive, you survived, you rebuilt, and now, right now, you're safe. In your bed, in your time, in a world where the bunkers are empty and the beaches are peaceful and young people don't have to defend impossible walls against impossible odds. You're warm, fed, safe. Things these German soldiers never had. Things they fought for without knowing if they'd ever experience them again. Take a moment. Feel your blanket, your pillow, the safety of your room. This is what they were defending. Not Hitler, not the Third Reich, but the idea of home, of peace, of safety. They failed, but you have it now. This peace, this comfort. Don't take it for granted. Feel grateful for the warm bed beneath you, for the quiet night, for the absence of bombs and bullets and terror. The Atlantic Wall fell 80 years ago. Those 17-year-old soldiers are gone now. Their story fades, but the lesson remains. War is hell. Peace is precious, safety is a gift. And sleep, when it comes without nightmares, is a blessing. Close your eyes, let the weight of the day fall away, let the story fade. You're safe, you're warm, you're at peace. Sleep well.